Awesome. All right, I think there's a couple more in the waiting room.
I'll let them in. Just waiting for some people to join us, and then we're going to start. Welcome, everybody.
Okay.
Okay, I think everybody's there at the moment.
Okay.
So
Awesome. Welcome, everybody. Actually, I think there's one more in the waiting room. What we're going to do is we have a few slides that we'll go over first, and there will be opportunities for questions after the slides. Feel free to turn on your video or turn on your mic and ask the question directly, or feel free to use the chat facility as well. We have myself here, and I'm Donna Slater, one of the co-directors of the Biomedical Sciences in the Bachelor of Health Sciences program.
And I'm Guido Van Marl. I'm the other co-director, Biomedical Sciences. And together we will take care of this session, but also in the program, we will look after curriculum and some of the students. And today with us is also Torwart Skeek, who are social media and communication specialist, who looks after the webpage and has also helps moderating us today with the chat, etc.
And we will also be recording this session, so just so that you're aware of that. Okay, I'm going to share the screen now. Okay.
There we go.
Right, let's go to... Okay, can everybody see the screen?
Yep.
Okay. So first of all, we would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the traditional territories of the people of the Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta, which includes the Blackfoot Confederacy, which it comprises the Siksika, Piikani and Kainai First Nations, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nation and the Stoney Nakoda, which includes the Chiniki, Bezport and Wesley First Nations. Also, the city of Calgary is home to the Métis Nation of Alberta Region 3. So we're the Bachelor of Health Sciences, and we're going to focus today on the Biomedical Sciences major within this program. And I'm Donna Slater, and we have Dr. Guido Van Marl as well, and we're both co-directors of the Biomedical Sciences. So, you know, what are we? What is our program? So we're very much an inquiry-based, multidisciplinary, research-focused undergraduate program that encompasses from that cell to society, molecules to mankind, and global health. So what do we mean by inquiry-based, multidisciplinary, and research-focused? Hopefully over the next few slides, we'll be able to fill you in on a few more of those details. So what do? We provide an interdisciplinary approach and research-intensive curriculum. By interdisciplinary, we don't just take one single approach to addressing research questions, and we'll get into that a little bit more later. This is designed to engage students in all aspects of health and health research. We also provide learning practices that are inquiry and experiential based to support a rich and interactive learning environment. So by experiential, we mean that students get the opportunity to do real face-to-face live research to address important questions. We also provide an opportunity for students to gain real experience using an integrated approach to health research. So not just from the biomedical sciences perspective, but also from the bioinformatics and health and society. Please make sure to visit those booths as well to learn more about those two majors. We focus very much on building strong communication and problem-solving skills throughout the 4 years of the program. So the three majors, our major is the Biomedical Sciences major, and very traditionally we try and establish the solid and basic foundations in biomedical sciences and scientific methods that you would traditionally think of in science, those going into a lab, doing wet lab research, for example. We incorporate the latest developments and technologies. We've got some excellent laboratories for our undergrads to do research certainly in the second year and third years. The bioinformatics major integrates computer and biological sciences from modeling biological systems in simulations to showing how the human body works from an information systems perspective. So for example, in the Biomedical Sciences major, you may investigate how one gene works within a system. The bioinformatics approach takes a much bigger, more sort of computer-based approach. You might look at groups and families, so hundreds of genes at one instance, to work out what they're doing within a certain system. The Health and Society major is very important and integrates that social, medical, and health issues that really investigate those complex health issues around the world. There is a focus on promoting health, preventing disease, and implementing those social changes that are required to improve healthcare systems, both locally and also globally. Again, please make sure to visit the other discussions for the Bioinformatics and the Health and Society major. So the Biomedical Sciences, and here we have a picture of one of our students that's doing some real research within one of the real research labs within the Cummings School of Medicine. And, you know, we very broad. So there is a wide breadth of life sciences research going on within the program, from looking at sort of single molecules, cells, tissues, organs, from genetics and all the way up to neuroscience and many more. So what do we mean by inquiry-based learning? Well, it's a way of teaching learning that puts the student in control of their own learning. Students might identify a research issue that they're interested in, and they then try and develop that knowledge and sometimes propose solutions too. So this type of learning is really important because it can help develop strong problem solving and critical thinking skills, which are crucial for health research, but also are really very important skill sets to have in any career as you move forward. So within the Bachelor of Health Sciences program, we have a set of core inquiry courses from years 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the goal of these courses is to provide students with a solid grounding in the research philosophy and methods. The three majors, Biomedical Sciences, Health and Society, and Bioinformatics, are very much integrated during the first 2 years of these core inquiry courses. Then when you get to the third year, you will move into a more discipline-focused core inquiry. So the Health and Society have a different set of core courses. The Biomedical Sciences and the Bioinformatics will have their own as well. And then in the final year, you get to do your honours research project. And so that's more individual work, but within the group of a research team. Throughout all of these courses, students are engaged in problem-based and active learning as a group, and also in individual contexts as well. And there's very much a focus on interdisciplinary learning. So for a biomedical sciences student, you need to be able to explain the work you're doing to people not directly within your own field. The same for the Health and Society and the Bioinformatics. And that is something that we focus on very much throughout the program. And here you can see a broad schematic of what a typical program may include. And on the left, you can see from year 1, 2, 3, and 4, the inquiry courses that builds onto this real sort of research and interdisciplinary approach. And then on the right here in the yellow, you can see some of the core courses that all biomedical sciences will do. So of course, there are different biology courses. And then we move into some of the cell and molecular biology and human genetics. And of course, statistics and research design is very important. So all majors will do this. And then of course, we have a number of different core options and open option courses. So please take a look, go to the virtual booth for BHSC and also on the website, and you might find more information about all the different variety of core option and open option courses that are available for students throughout the program. So as I've said before, the Biomedical Sciences and Bachelor of Health Science is very research focused. Throughout the course, you get you're encouraged to and supported in carrying out numerous different independent study courses. Of course, all students do an honours thesis in the final year. There are also summer studentships available. Many of our students do summer research, and there are also scholarships available for some of these as well. You may not get paid a lot of money, but certainly will be enough to sort of help facilitate your opportunities to do research in the summer. And there are also global health initiatives that students can get involved in as well. Here we have, you can see a few pictures of our students here standing by posters that they have carried out the research and presented their work at different symposia. And so there are some other program components that we have. So we have our orientation day. Our first year students, you get to meet some of the faculty members and fellow students. We have a buddy program where first year students are partnered with more senior students to help you find your feet and your way around sort of the campus and the program. We have a mentorship program where students are partnered with principal investigators, researchers, lecturers, and they can maybe give you some different sets of advice. And we have a research symposium, and again on the side here you can see some of the posters that were presented at that. Students get opportunity for an oral presentation and poster presentations, and that's great experience for developing those presentation skills too. We also have Health Sciences Students Association and a Student Faculty Liaison Committee. So these are just some of the program components that are within the biomedical sciences. So the big question that many of you are probably asking is, what do I do after finishing my degree? So here are some careers of some of our biomedical sciences alumni. So it goes all the way from a biomedical illustrator, a biotech founder, dentistry, entrepreneur, lawyer, occupational health. Moving to the side, we see pathologist assistants, research scientists, teachers, technical writers, and veterinarian. These are but a few of the careers that you may be able to do following a degree in biomedical sciences. And finally, this is a picture of all of our final year students. This is actually 2 years ago now, before the pandemic. And on the very last day of the honours thesis, students do an oral exam and defend their thesis, and then we have a great celebration after that to celebrate all the hard work that the students have done in their final honours thesis. And students are very happy and they do an awesome job, and this is just a picture of us all celebrating that the last time that we did this. So I think that is it. So are there any questions? And Dr. Van Maal, do you have anything else to add?
No, I think we covered most of the things. I think, yes, if you have a question, just put it otherwise in the chat or raise your hand, and we can have you even use your voice rather than some characters in a chat box. But please, if you have any questions, please let us know. Okay, so question, what is the difference between biomedical sciences and biomedical engineering? So biomedical engineering is using engineering approaches to tackle health issues. So that would include things like artificial limbs, other computer-aided assists that certain people use, or engineering cells to stem cells and biofermenters, and really not looking, they look at the biology, but they also look at how do you build those big tanks that those things grow in. Some of our biomedical science students also do stuff in biomedical engineering. So they look maybe at the more the biological side than rather the engineering side, but there's a lot of crosstalk in between those. And some of our biomedical science graduates go on to the biomedical engineering graduate program. So there is overlap between that, but the difference is that one is in engineering and biomedical sciences is in the Cummings School of Medicine, but there is more an engineering focus on the biomedical engineering.
We'll just try and take these as they come up. So there is one question here, can you apply to medical school using this degree? Some of our students do, yes. But if you want to know how to apply to medical school, then please visit the medical school program. They will tell you the exact components of how to apply to do medicine.
Okay, and then is it possible to do a minor in bioinformatics? Yes, there is
Yes.
also a minor in health and society that you can do. And you can also do minors in other things across campus too. If you want, if you're interested in that, once you get into the program, there are a couple of like logistical, technical paperwork things that need to be done. But you can work with our program advisors to work your way through that. But yes, that is very much possible.
So the question here, would these careers be directly from the health science degree, or would there be further schooling to get there? It depends entirely on what your course of action is and what your choice is. If you want to go on to do medicine, yes, it's another degree. If you want to go on to become a lawyer, it's another degree. Entrepreneurs, maybe not. You don't need those additional degrees. I believe the assistant pathologist as one is a 1 or a 2 year course. And veterinary medicine, yes, again, that would be another degree. So it depends entirely on the path that you're taking.
So sometimes you can work for a biotech company straight away out of undergrad, and a fair number have done it or did some other things in that sense. The question is, what is biological sciences and biomedical sciences? The difference is, well, again, you're in a different faculty, but biomedical science, we're focusing on biological sciences with a little bit more focus on health. While in biological sciences, you can also do honors thesis, you can do similar things like that, and also biological students just get into biomedical science realms, graduate degrees afterwards. There's no, in that sense, there have lead to similar paths, but they focus on a more broader biology in their undergrads. So where we focus more on the health component. Okay. Then somebody asked me the application process. Please check out our webpage, how that goes. We look at grades and at a supplementary application, but high grades, like 100%, doesn't guarantee you entry. You have to do both the supplementary application as well as we look at your grades and we take a look at both. But if you have like 85% or above, you're definitely in the competition. Or in the competition, you will be looked at when we're evaluate your files. The supplementary application is there to give us a bit of an idea from, is this program right for you? Yeah, and not, it's not just like from, oh, you're right for the program. No, is this the program right for you? Can you cope with some of the things, like we're focused on academic writing, we're very research focused. If research is not your thing, then this might not be the program for you.
Yeah, and I agree. And that is one of the difference with biological sciences and biomedical sciences, in that biomedical sciences, our program is a research focus and quite writing intensive course, whereas the biological sciences, you can do research, but it isn't necessarily incorporated for every single student to do that, whereas it is in ours.
Yeah. And Tarwat put some more things of like the admission information in the chat, so take a look at that too.
Okay. So we have a question here, is it possible to do a minor in biomedical, or does it only work for bioinformatics and health and society?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's only bioinformatics
Yeah.
and health and society that you can do a minor in. So, but stay posted for the future. But I would say that is the main things, like bioinformatics minors and the health and society minor. Yeah.
What is the difference between an honours program and a regular one? Well, an honours program, students in their final year go and do independent research in collaboration with a researcher, a PI, a principal investigator, and the regular sort of program does not include a thesis and will be all course-based.
So with other programs, you have choices if you're going to do an honors thesis or not. Here you're streamed for an honors thesis. So that, and there are some GPA requirements to maintain that in the honors program or to qualify in other programs to do an honors thesis. Yeah, so those are some things to think about.
A question here about to get into medical school of U of C, would you recommend taking biomedical sciences or any other programs related to it, as high grades are important? You need to speak to the medical school as to exactly what their requirements are. We are not able to make any recommendations about that. We focus on the biomedical sciences program, but please do visit the medical school application booth at this fair.
And somebody asked about the final research project. Yes, that is mandatory. We are an honors thesis program, so it's not optional. You will have to do an honors thesis in the end. In other programs, it's a choice that you can make, and but there is also, of course, a grade requirement for you to qualify for the honors thesis program. But you have a choice to do it or not. But in our program, you don't.
The question here, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Could you speak about the transition between high school and a university's program? Well, I anticipate that the transition will be the same as for a non-honors program. It is a big transition from high school to year one of university, whatever program you are doing. So in the first year, very much, even if you're in the honors program, you'll be doing similar courses or the same courses that others are. The difference really is in that final year honors thesis. And the difference in our program is we are very research focused, and even our first year students have opportunities to get involved in research should they so wish.
Yeah, and with that too, it's like, of course, it's no longer high school. The course loads and things come fast. But I would also say, don't be scared of that. You know, there are quite a lot of support systems and programs around to make that transition. But be prepared that you are now taking control to a part also of your own education. So, you know, be on the ball at certain things, but make sure also use of the supports that are available, but also don't be afraid of a challenge. And that's also the fun part, is that you're going to do stuff that you've never done before and really build something that really focuses to some parts on your interests too. For a transfer to engineering, you can, of course, transfer between programs, but there are requirements. So vice versa, what they require, you have to take a look at that. But I can give no advice on that until you are in the programs or go to the biomedical engineering program, what they require if you come from another program.
Yeah. And there's a question here about, can you double major in biomedical engineering and biomedical sciences? That's a difficult one. You would need to speak to the biomedical engineering and see what their requirements are. You would have to fulfill the requirements of both courses. Both courses are pretty intensive, so that may be a little bit more difficult.
But some of those things also, once you're in the program or in any program, there is possibilities for double degrees, but each of them have their own particular rules and regulations that you just have to take into consideration with regard to course load and choices. And sometimes it means juggling certain things, but check it out.
Yeah, and we certainly, you know, we support that sort of thing. I mean, quite a few of our students do different minors. I mean, we've already talked about 8 health and society and bioinformatics. Others might include music or something like that as an example too. So it can be flexible. You just need to fulfill the requirements for all the courses. Okay.
Okay, so what's the course load? Well, the course load is the way the course load is. It's like it's your science courses. It's about 5, 6 courses per semester, depending on what choices you make. And you can find that on our webpage, what exactly which courses we take in which years. We're very research focused to answer the other questions. We have like a buddy program, we have a mentorship program. So we're a smaller program. We have about 100 to 120 students a year. So that's about 400 students in total, probably in the program, give or take. And so it's a bit smaller, so there is a bit more interaction with faculty member, but also because we're research focused, you're actually working with individual professors, researchers on certain projects. So that creates a sort of a different uh, atmosphere than just sitting in a lecture hall and just doing a bunch of courses. So that's, there will be large scale courses that you will have to do in big groups, but there will also be smaller groups and smaller, more focused work for your individual in some of your interests. So that's sort of the scoop on what it's like.
And there's the student experience, do you have a choice in courses? So you have the inquiry courses, and there's a certain set of courses that students have to undertake. But there are also numerous option and senior option courses that students get to choose. So if you prefer more molecular biology, more genetics, more physiology, more pharmacology, students get the options to pick those different courses as well. The student here is asking about whether we recommend that a student applies to biomed or biomed engineering. That again, we can't give you those advice. I recommend that you find out as much information about each course as possible and then make your decision based on that and what really interests you.
Yeah. There are certain things though that certain programs you have to give them as a first choice, not as a second choice, because they're not, because of some of their selection grid, they will not they will only first look at the first choice students because they have so many applications. That's the only thing that you have to check out, which programs those are and what the university does too. Yep. Somebody asked something about scientific writing.
Yep.
And yes, it means scientific writing pertaining to research. And we also teach you how to read a scientific paper, how to analyze those, how to interpret those, synthesize new ideas, etc.
It's fun. If you like asking questions, if you like inquiring about things and investigating things for yourself, then this is an excellent program for that. But yes, it is writing intense and research intense.
So how difficult is the course load for a student who does a major in health sciences and a minor? I don't think it's any different than any other program where you do a major and a minor. And it's just what you would like to do and how to spread it out over your curriculum. You might have to do some extra courses to fulfill a minor. But that's stuff that you can get into once you're in the programs or in the specific programs that you get into. Each program that's slightly different, but in general, it's the same across the university.